And so, we're continually growing. So I'm just going ahead and just, spilling out the introduction. We have a great presentation for you guys today for you to be aware of everything that we're doing. Yeah, no, absolutely. And Jen is one of my people helping me out today. Just let me know, Jen, if I need to share on Facebook as well, or if it's already doing that.
Yeah, I'm the one who's
Um,
doing that.
it's
So
already doing perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, so it is so great to see everyone today. I am going to go ahead and start this presentation for you guys, and then feel free if you have any kind of questions or comments or concerns, go ahead and put them in the chat, or myself or Jen will go ahead and answer that for you guys as we continue to talk. And if I see anything, I'll try and help out as well. Okay, so give me just 1 second to share my screen and we will get started. It is taking just a little bit of time to load. There we go. All right, so this is an autism story with a question and an answer. So here we have our amazing leader here, Michelle, along with her incredible daughter, Juliana. And their story is just, it speaks volumes on everything that goes on, going from being nonverbal to then being able to speak and provide wants and needs, being able to provide just that overall ability of saying what you may want, right? And so, just like I had said earlier, I may not be Michelle, but I am one of the BCBAs that work with her. My name is Armando Bernal. I am a board certified behavior analyst. But one thing that I really try and use to my advantage to better support each one of you as parents is that I'm also diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. I myself, at a younger age, was diagnosed nonverbal as well. I was diagnosed at 3. I was nonverbal, and doctors told my mother that I might as well learn sign language because I'm never going to be able to speak. We have a video of my story that I'll play a little bit later. But yeah, my mother had said simply, no, that's not going to be his life, that he is going to be able to communicate or provide his wants and needs in some form without having these problems throughout his entire life. And now I still struggle a little bit with my ability to speak or my social skill aptitude, right? But growing up, although I like to think I was the perfect child, I'm sure my parents would disagree. I had different kinds of behaviors. I had self-injurious behavior. I had aggression. I had tantrum, different behaviors that may sound very familiar to a lot of the parents here today. And so I really want to personally thank each of you for coming here, because it's such an incredible moment for me to get to be around so many amazing parents, so many amazing moms, and dads, but also in addition, being able to be surrounded by what is seemingly a tribe of people that are just trying to support their children and hopefully throughout this session support each other. So, goodness. Maybe I skipped a little too far. Oh, okay. So the video is starting to play. So I'm going to go ahead and play you just a quick video, so that way you guys are more familiar of what we do here and what we can better support. So with that being said, I will start our video and get started.
I remember when I got pregnant with my daughter, I felt so grateful and so blessed. My life up until that point had been pretty rocky. I'd had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and I finally thought that I was turning a corner and God was blessing me with this beautiful gift of a child. And I just, yes, finally something was going in my way. And then when she was born, she was just absolutely perfect. I had all of these dreams and expectations for her. I thought of all the things that I thought she was going to do. Yeah, good girl. Right after her first birthday, I started to notice her behavior change. She went from, saying Matt. She was obsessed with Dora the Explorer, Mama, Dad. She was saying it all. Good girl, say Matt. hit all of her milestones up until that point. She walked at 1. She was eating solid. She just, she looked really good. And then I just remember her, it felt almost overnight or very quickly where her demeanor just changed. She went from this super happy baby to crying and tantruming, just frustrated all the time. And I remember saying to my mom one day during one of these tantrums, like, where did my happy baby go? But I didn't think anything past it. I think I was kind of not ready to fathom that something could be off, even though maybe the telltale signs were there. Cheerios? One Cheerios, okay. Dressed. Honey, gotta get dressed. Gotta get dressed, honey. Come on, time to get dressed. She started to lose the words that she had gained. She wasn't saying mama anymore. She wasn't saying map. She just seemed really disconnected from us. Instead of playing with her toys, she would take them, dump them all out of her toy box, and just start twisting them around her hands aimlessly with no intended purpose. Really kind of in denial about it. And then I remember one day we were in the middle of a store, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, she just started screaming and yelling like somebody had slapped her. I don't even know what the problem was, and I was so mortified. I didn't even know what to do. I was so scared. I literally just left the half full cart in the store, picked her up, and just ran out of there. Never went to that store again. I just didn't even know what to think. And that was probably the first time it really kind of stung for me that maybe something is wrong. They diagnosed her. They didn't diagnose her right away. They said that, she was too young for a diagnosis. I didn't even know what they meant when they said that. I was like, diagnosed for what? I just had no idea what they were talking about. And then they said, we'll come back in if you're not seeing progress. And I said, okay, and a couple months later, I'm watching these speech therapists play with her on the floor. I'm not seeing any progress and felt like she was getting a little worse. And then we went for our 2-year-old wellness visit, and the doctor said that she was behind if she wasn't using 20 words with intent. And that was probably just the knife to my heart. At that point, I really couldn't deny that something was up with her anymore. So then I called the county back in, and then she was diagnosed on the spectrum. And I remember that day, and it was worst days of my life. It was my darkest hour. I could easily say that. As a mother, as a woman, as just a human being, it was probably one of the hardest times I had ever gone through. And I remember just I went from being so happy with God, so thankful, to being so pissed at him for doing this to her and wrecking this beautiful gift he had given me. And for a while there, I struggled. I struggled to figure out what this meant, or what we were going to do, or how this was going to define her. All those dreams I had for her future were just completely shattered, and I had no idea what was going to happen next. And I went from just hopeful to just complete blank when I thought about the future. One night I was thinking, I'm going to die one day, and who's going to care for her like her mother? And something about that thought just snapped me out of my depression and my anger and my fear and said, listen, we got to get to work here. I promised that when she was born, I was going to be the best mother I could be to her. And that promise hasn't changed. In fact, it should mean more now than ever, not less. She needs me now more than ever. And I didn't know at the time what we were capable of, or what having those changes, that mindset shift for me was going to do. But I wanted to know that at the end of every night, I could look myself in the mirror with confidence and say, did you do everything you could, Michelle, to give her the best possible life? And if the answer was yes, then that was a good day. And I wanted the answer to be yes, 100%. And no matter where the cards fell, I know I could leave this earth saying I gave her everything I had, no regrets. And as I've navigated this world with her and walked away that day after having that thought, I really just grabbed the bull by the horns. I became her fiercest advocate. I'm not a special education master's degree teacher. I don't know I never had any formal training in ABA, but I knew that I was going to learn whatever I needed to learn to be really strong for her. And Juliana lost all of her language. Cheerios? Okay. She was nonverbal when she was diagnosed. Okay. We taught her sign language. Show me. Juliana, show me. Then she went from sign language to word approximations. What? Then she started to speak. Say I did it. She went from the most restrictive preschool environment. She was in a 614, most restricted preschool, special education preschool environment you could be in. To now where she is almost 8 years old. She's in a second grade class in a gen ed school, integrated class with typical peers. She speaks beautifully now. What did you like about the child?
I like when they make like coffee, and I like that they know like text paper.
She has a personality. She has conversation skills. There's still things that we need to work on, but for the most part, her future went from black to now having possibilities. And none of that could have happened had I not kind of gotten out of my own way and really hit the ground running and started to take action for her. And I can't say that I can do that for every parent I coach, but what I can tell them is I will have them feeling like I did, looking myself in the mirror, you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I was everything I could be for her today. I have no regrets. And whatever happens, it happens. It's really for us as parents to know we fulfilled the duty that we promised when we had these children, which was to be the best versions of ourselves, to live, to raise these children. I've helped now hundreds of mothers, coach them one-on-one to do the same things I did, to help them to be strong, to help them to craft plans where we're seeing constant progress. This is what I want to do. I want to give you the chance that Juliana's had. I want to give you every opportunity to give your child that happiness.
Dear Juliana, today you will wish a day full of happiness, spent with friends, many good memories to believe again, and great times. I hope you will never end. Happy birthday, love, Jane.
That video gets me every time. I do a couple of these workshops, and it's just the amount of joy and the amount of excitement that's gone into the growth of her has just been fantastic. But that's, oh goodness, let me pause that. Next one. Yes, there we go. So, but that allows us to really get into the thick of it, right? And to understand, why are you here today, right? Is it just you needed help and you saw like, hey, this would be a really great opportunity? Or is it something that you just saw and was like, hey, you know what, this I could learn something, right? But is it also, did you want to have your child start learning how to communicate with you? Maybe how to become independent, how to have friends and engage with others, right? Having communication is a good way of being able to click with your child when it comes to speech, being able to provide that sense of, I want this item, I want this, instead of having to guess at everything that your child may be saying or maybe wanting to do. Being able to teach them how to speak is just goes above and beyond to allow them to be able to have more friends and communicate, right? Adam, I see that your hand is raised, and that's absolutely fantastic. If you don't mind, if you have a question or a comment, please put it in the chat, and myself or Jen will be more than happy to reach out to you during the thing. And so with it, right, it's about getting that independence. It's about having the child being able to better understand what they are needing to do and how they can be successful. Myself personally, as a behavior analyst, I tell a lot of the parents that I serve that yes, your child is 2, but what about 12? What about 22? What is the plan that can be made in order to allow the child to be successful, right? What is your plan? And for some of you, you may be sitting in your chair right now saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a plan. And that's okay, because that's what this program can do. It can help you stop worrying about what their future is going to look like if they don't communicate. It can allow you to have that kind of reassurance for yourself as a parent. And again, as much as I enjoy doing these workshops, right, I think of also just myself as a behavior analyst and talking to my own therapist that I work with. And I say, like, it takes a lot for a parent to be able to possibly swallow their own pride and ignore what society expects them to say, which is that I can control my child in any situation, and just simply say, I need help, right? And much more to a complete stranger sometimes. But that's what we're here for, is to be that person that has no judgment, that has no real play in this, right? And allowing you to know that you have somebody in your corner that can back you, that can support you. It allows you to stop feeling like every bad thing in the world is going to happen to them. If we can promote independence, if we can promote an self-advocacy or that ability to communicate, we can then begin to have these individuals learn how to take care of themselves and be successful. And much more, though, you can stop feeling like you can't live your life. There are sometimes I speak with parents and they say, we can't go to the movies anymore. We can't go to the restaurants. We can't go to museums, right? But having a better understanding of why your child may be doing what they're doing through a program such as this will allow you to say, hey, I know why my child is wanting to escape this or wanting to get my attention. This is how I can resolve that issue. So Michelle is not here to say it, but one of her favorite things to say is that there is the big 3. These are skills that every child with autism needs for a chance to have this independent life. And they are potty training. There is problem behavior at 0 or close to 0, which would be, when we think problem behavior, this is the tantrums, the aggression, the kicking, the biting, anything like that. And communication skills, like we've been talking about, teaching these children to understand how to communicate their wants and needs without getting into screaming these wants and needs, yelling these wants and needs, crying and then saying these wants and needs. And I said it briefly earlier, but potty training is so significant. For some of you here, you may not just have a 2-year-old that's not potty trained. She may be 5, 8, 10. I've also spoken with parents that are in their 30s that still are not potty trained, right? What I will say is that currently, this program has 100% success rate with potty training. Is that if you have a concern with potty training, something Michelle is very proud of, is that we will be able to support you in any way possible. Much more, our mindset coach, our BCBAs, our speech therapists, we want to make sure that these big 3 problems or things that we need to work on are no longer problems. And there are solutions that can better promote the level of independence that you know as a parent that your child can do, that everything that you are working toward matters. Everything they are doing matters, because one day they are going to be independent and lead successful lives. And it's going to be because of you, the parent. So me personally, I like to put it all out there. So just for me to have this listed for you guys, it's just what you want for your child. You want to hear your child be able to speak and hear their voice. You want to have them use their bathroom. And again, it goes back to this big 3 here, where it's communication. You see that resonating. Bathroom and the potty training, that's happening, right? Tantrum and getting aggressive. You don't want them to do that anymore. That's again leading into no problem behavior or close to no problem behavior. Forming this deeper relationship with your child is going to be impactful because it allows them, to trust you. It allows them to know that you can be there for them. I think of, and we may be going into my own story later, right? But with my own diagnosis of autism, I have said this over and over again, but if it was not for my family, if it was not for my sister, my mother, my father, believing in me and knowing that autism is not what makes me as a person, it's just a part of me, I would not be in this presentation today speaking with all of you. I would still be learning sign language and struggling to provide my wants and needs. But because of all of you taking this amazing and incredible step to listen to this presentation and to say, I want to do as much as I can for my child, we're able to see that success. If providing the advocacy, providing the independence will allow this child to learn how to take care of themselves, what comes next are the holidays, the parties with families and friends again, without needing to hover, without having to explain, oh, my child is autistic. I'm so sorry. My child has autism. Please be nice to him, all of that, right? Being able to provide a level of independence that is age appropriate will allow the child to take care of themselves. And again, that's really what we're here. But what do you want for yourself, right? You want this unbreakable connection with your child. You want them to be able to see you and say, I love you, to see you and say, I want to hug, I want to be with you, I want to have time with you. You want peace from the diagnosis. I have spoken with many parents in my career, and it turns into just parents believing that the diagnosis of autism is a death sentence, it's cancer. And being able to promote those kind of needs is going to be ideal in order to provide the success that you're looking for. You don't want to believe that autism is this death sentence that I said, right? That you feel it in your bones that you didn't fail your child, and you haven't failed your child. Being able to be in a presentation like this is so significant because it allows you to gain the knowledge and gain the access to information that you need to see them succeed. You want to left no stone unturned, and maybe that's why you're at this presentation, right? Being able to better determine like what kind of expectations you can have for your child, being able to see how you can resolve any kind of concerns they may have. And by doing so, you are able to really give them the best life that they could possibly have. You want to know that your children will remember their childhood and say, Mommy and Daddy gave me an amazing childhood. And being able to have that, to say, I took my child to a jump world, I took my child to the zoo, to the museum, all of that can be achieved by giving the time and the energy that's needed in order to see them do as much as possible. Living every day knowing that if you died tomorrow, that you gave 110%. I say this in a lot of the presentations that I provide for Michelle, but it's in my mind that happens every single time with each of you guys, especially even if you're not with our program yet, because you are doing everything in your power to help your child. And for that, I'm truly honored to be here with each of you. So this is one email that Michelle has gotten in the past, right? And so I don't want to read all of it, right? But I will read some of it. And so we said, I'm sorry that I've been available to plug into the sessions. Life's moving so fast. And I wanted to tell you and Stella, which is one of our coaches here, that know that Ian is officially potty trained. Again, keeping up with that 100% potty training and understanding that there is a will and a way of getting to that point. Being able to have a child understand, like, look, this is what I can work for to get to the potty training session. That is so significant. In this situation, his sister-in-law asked Ian what he wanted for Christmas. And he said anything Reese's peanut butter cup. She gave him a large 1-pound cup. I don't know if I could eat that, honestly. I have some difficulty with teeth, and to know that that is occurring is like, oh goodness, I'm sure the dentist was not happy to see him. But understanding different kinds of things that can promote or motivation. So with him, it was the Reese's peanut butter cup. Being able to have some kind of token board where, again, if you're not familiar with it, it's just a system where you provide a child with some kind of token that they enjoy for every reinforcer of their choosing. And apparently with both of these things put together, she was able to take him to the bathroom, and he was able to successfully go. And that's what it's all about, right? Potty training, yes, is so significant, but it's also about how do we keep him motivated? How do we keep the child motivated or reinforced? For this one specific child, it was Reese's peanut butter cup and a token system. Getting him to understand how to use those things effectively allowed him to learn how to use the potty. And that's something you guys can do too, where it's learning what matters to your child and using that. And through this program, we're able to support that. So Ian is officially potty trained. And it is something that is just absolutely incredible for us here as well as Michelle. So what we have currently is a 3-month group coaching program with guaranteed results. Like I said, 100% potty training success rate, absolutely incredible. It is lifetime access to the myself study vault of courses that you can do on your own time. And they cover the big 3 that we've been talking about here: potty training, communication, stopping behavior problems, social skills. You guys may have maybe not issues with potty training communication, but maybe it's social skills that's an issue, right? But being able to learn about that and being able to successfully promote support in your child can be given through these different organizations, doing these different videos. Picky eater protocols. If you guys have trouble having your child eat different foods, then we can be able to support them with that too, and being able to understand why this child is being a picky eater and what we can do to promote it. I tell this story to my parents a lot that are worried about eating and diet and things like that. I worked with a child that was 7 years old and just ate nothing but veggie chips. And his diet was veggie chips and some kind of protein drink with multivitamins in it. And with that, that was it for 7 years of his life. And with my understanding of the picky eating protocols and being able to promote appropriate feeding, right? We were able to teach this child to eat pizza, to eat pancakes, to eat different things like that can better support him. And more importantly, also though, we have mindset training, where the hardest thing is to accept this diagnosis. But with mindset training, we are able to better support you guys as well. If you have problems with eloping, we can help with that as well. And it building out every month. It's not a be all end all with just the same videos over and over. If you have questions, if you have concerns, there are provided classes that allow you to ask questions to people like me, behavior analysts, speech therapists, and make it your own, make it individualized to better support you. This collection of program is what makes the program the Harvard of autism. It allows you to better understand everything and anything there is about this kind of program. So what you get when you are a part of this group, right? This 3 months, what is a part of this? You get lifetime access to this study vault of what we talked about. You get 3 to 4 weekly live group coaching calls, and you learn from the experts. So that would be myself, that would be the other BCBAs, that would be Michelle herself as well. This would be Stella, our mindset coach, as we talked about, right? On the right, you can see Stella's picture. You have BCBAs, myself, Melissa, Stacy, and Julie, all here for you to better support you, better provide the needs that you have to better understand your child. And every question gets answered. Me personally, I know it says an hour, right, for these meetings. I try to go even further than that. I try to say, hey, you got a question, I'm willing to say, just let me answer it. I'm happy to help you. And for any parents that may wonder, like, how specific does it get? It gets as specific as you type it. It gets specific as you say it. And as long as we can see it and be able to support you, that's all that really matters to us. These monthly specialist calls are also provided. We have a registered dietitian that is also an autism mom. So if you have questions about nutrition, if you have questions about diet, she can help you. This is, again, a part of that 3 to 4 weekly live groups that we have every month that we're able to better support. And did I mention this lifetime access to the self-study vault? Even if you don't go to these meetings, that's okay. There are videos that are a part of this that you can better understand the big 3 and also all the autism related topics. And as I mentioned earlier, not only do we have BCBS, mindset coach, a registered dietitian, but we also have a speech language pathologist who I have personally worked with in the past, with her own child, right? She's also an autism mom. Our focus is to make sure that autism moms, autism dads are given the support they need in their times of concern. And everything, again, every question gets answered. Everything that you may have concerns about, we will listen to. We will better support you through everything that you have. We have a private Facebook community currently that we talk with, in addition to what I had mentioned previously. So even if you're not able to go to these meetings, even if the videos are still not enough, you can chat or you can message on the Facebook community and ask any and all questions that you may have about your child. Even if you just want to promote the successes, we're happy to do that too. But one thing also is, not only is this not just some big corporation that you never get to see people from, you're talking directly to the people that are making this happen. You can join Michelle, you can speak with her, you can join Stella, you can join myself. And we want to make sure that your baby is our baby, that we can do everything we possibly can to see your child successful. We have had a wide array of parents from different countries, different even nations. And what we're wanting to just support is just the overall health of that child to see that success. So if this is something you're interested in, please join the Champions for Our Children Facebook Masterclass group, because that is just above and beyond an amazing group of individuals. So we have an action-backed guarantee on top of this, right? Because it's not only just, here's what we can offer, it's what we trust what we can do, and we are able to provide as much support as possible. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And if after 90 days, you don't get the results you came for, you stay in the program till you do, or she'll give you your money back. It's making sure that you are getting what you paid for and that you are seeing the success you needed. As for me, I've been with Michelle for over a year now. And my goal has been to better support each and every one of the parents that I talk with, and make sure that I ask them questions when they return and say, you know, how's little Johnny doing? How's little Diego doing? Whatever it is, we want to make sure that you know that we are thinking of you and that we want to see as much success from you as possible. So tonight, if I'm not mistaken, Jim, please correct me if I'm wrong, we have a bonus of 4 months in the program instead of 3, if you guys decide to book a call to learn more about the masterclass today. So Jen will be putting a link in the chat, so that way you guys are able to know more about it, but also be able to register and sign up. Again, this is for tonight, that we're doing 4 months in the program instead of the typical 3, which means 1 more month of autism knowledge, 1 more month of questions to a behavior analyst, 1 more month of questions to the speech therapist. Everybody that could possibly be here to help you will be here to help you. So, and like I said, again, Jen is going to put that link in the chat. So please book a free call now. Click that link in the chat box and be able to talk with us. If you'd like to talk specifically with me, more than happy to do so. If you want to talk with Michelle, if you want to talk with Jessica or any of the other BCBAs, please ask, and we are more than happy to get that going for you. So why do this in the first place, right? And that was something I asked, right? Why are you here? More importantly, why do you want to do Champions for Our Children? Let me move my little face here. I'm sure you guys aren't just here to see me. But every child on the spectrum is unique. Look at Juliana, look at myself, look at what we have been doing here tonight, and looking at your own child and saying, my child is not like Armando, my child's not like Juliana, my child is my child. And being able to understand that and know that your child is unique is allowing us to know that how flexible we need to be, as well as understand personalized strategies to do that. And so much like with potty training, we're not going to do the same thing for potty training over and over. We're going to just make sure that you feel confident as a parent, that you're able to get the support you need, and make you, again, as fluent in their language and behavior even before you got that diagnosis. It doesn't matter if they're verbal, nonverbal, mild, moderate, or severely autistic. It's all about how do we get you connected again, reconnect with that child to bring that communication, right? We want to get to the root of that problem. We want to make sure that what you're saying to us is being heard, and what we can do for you is being completed. Because if I come into a session, I say, we're just going to do this, 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 and I don't hear you, you're not going to get a lot out of that. You don't really care about that. But if I go in and I say with open ears, hey, what can I do for you? What can I do for your child, right? That allows you to know that we are here for you, and that you can live your life again, that you can go to that restaurant, that you can go to that party, and be, more importantly, a family where you don't need to hear crying and screaming all of the time, but instead hearing their true wants and needs, and get your life back on track, and also get your child's life back on track. If regression happens, that's okay. That is fine. But being able to better support your child and learning from any mistakes that may occur, that matters so much more than you just accepting what happens. My mother used to say, every day is a new day. And I truly believe that every day is completely different. So with a little trial and error, you can learn so much. And so rather than quitting on your kids, The only true failure would be quitting, right? So if you're able to learn from your mistakes, pick yourself back up, and continue to grow, that's all we can ever ask from you. And so we're going to teach you how to build that champion mindset. We're going to teach you how to no longer worry about autism and learn that you can do so many amazing things, that your child can do so many amazing things. You're going to get your independence back, and so is your child. So if you're thinking in this situation, right, I don't know if now is a good time. Totally understand, right? If you're saying that, think about that time for the children on the spectrum is currency. And we really cannot afford to waste that kind of minute. So I tell a lot of parents, right, if I start working with a child that is 8 years old with behaviors, has never had therapy, never had any kind of support, compared to a child that is 2 years old, it is a lot harder to remove or decrease the problems that the 8-year-old has to the 2-year-old, because there is less time that has gone on that hasn't impacted that child, right? So there's never going to be a perfect time. It's all about starting in that moment, because if that 8-year-old child didn't come to me and he came to me at 9, it would have been harder than getting a 9-year-old than an 8-year-old to complete that behavior. We will help create the time. We will work with your schedule to make everything that we can do more effective, as well as matter more, right? So if you don't have the time now, it takes even longer to get these skills for your baby on your own, in the sense that if they didn't learn it as a child and they then decide, you decide I'm going to teach them when they're a teenager, that is going to be so much more difficult, because they've gone through their life to understand, I don't need this skill. Why am I learning this now? So it becomes a lot more difficult, right? If we could value time as much as we do money, it truly is that ultimate expense that we cannot afford to waste. Yes, money is something, I totally understand that, right? But being able to understand that we have this ability to use time to our advantage will allow you to save more in the long run. Think about what you could possibly do on an hour, right? Maybe be on TikTok, maybe go on the gym, all of that kind of thing, right? With 1 hour of your night or 1 hour of your day, you could possibly learn more autism knowledge, more autism experience to better support your own child, but also making it very individual. So knowing what this is costing you and your family, think about if you're able to spare another second. Think about every time that you may have needed to leave a grocery store, to leave a restaurant because of the behaviors. If we can help support you and give you those opportunities back to go to those places, we would do it. So think about, can I afford to spend the money on this, or this is expensive? Yeah, I get it. It may be expensive to some, it may not be. I totally understand. But it's more valuable than anything that you can buy, because you get your years back. You don't have to go years and years of hearing these behaviors over and over, right? It's think about, what is it costing you to not get your big baby, the big three? How much has it cost you to not get them communication? How much has it cost you to not get them potty trained? Through the diapers. Diapers are incredibly expensive. And being able to remove that as a form of payment, that's ideal, right? To be able to remove that. How much are the problem behaviors, the aggression, the running away, the property destruction? How much is that costing you? And she broke it down for you. Cost of diapers are over $2,000 per year, maybe even more because of inflation now, right? The cost of time to change is more than 135 hours annually. And that's about 4 weeks of time that you have then lost, a month of time, just by changing them, specifically with the potty training. But this cost of not being able to move on and teach other important skills, having to still teach your child how to use a spoon at teenage years, how to walk with an adult when they're older, that's costing so much more time. And it's more importantly costing the mental and emotional rite of passage from that baby to child that they'll never have, where it's going from crying as a baby to crying as a child to crying as a teenager to crying as an adult. Being able to work through the problem behaviors when they're young will allow you to see the most success possible. So ask yourself again, can you afford to pay this price any longer than you initially have, right? So think about also, if you failed so many times or you've tried everything, how is this going to be different? In the end, there are so many different kinds of evidence-based strategies, evidence-based articles, different kinds of interventions that have been used that it's very impossible to have tried everything. How many times have you lost your keys and gone on the hunt for them? And you think about how this continually happens, right? We're able to look past it and see that you always find them in the last place you look. So you can hunt and look everywhere, and then they suddenly appear. Same thing here. Michelle's program is the last place that you can look and that you should look. It's where you'll find the key of unlocking an amazing future, because not only is this just an individual, an autism mom that has a child with autism that knows a thing or two about it, she is working directly with a mindset coach, a nutritionist, a speech therapist, and multiple behavior analysts. Behavior analysts are people that are focused on ethics-based learning, that is focused on evidence-based interventions. We are here for you at any time. We will work with you until you feel so confident that your baby is going to have a successful life, and we will do everything possible. So, and you may also say that you need to think about it. I get it, right? Doesn't take time to make, it doesn't take that long to make a decision. It just takes information, and you want to know what are we offering here? Why is this important? Why is this significant? I'm seeing a lot of numbers in the chat, 76 right now on my count. I'm sure Jen's doing an amazing job of answering questions. If you guys have questions, concerns, comments, please write it in the chat box so we're aware of it, right? And we may think that it's longer that we wait, the more information we'll have. But it's important to continue forward, because the longer you wait to promote appropriate behavior in your child, the harder it's going to be to remove. You feel less certain if you wait. You feel more uncertain. You feel less confident. You feel more doubtful. Being able to understand that and what happens if you wait too long can cause a lot of issues, right? So it's all of that comes from the past, which is giving you the results you have now, right? It's this idea of, should I wait, should I not? And that's fine. But think about what happens if you don't take action, if you keep it going. There's just more behaviors that may occur. Time is currency. We talked about that earlier. And being able to promote ourselves in such a way that allow us to communicate with each other and support each other, I think that's what matters about this program. We're able to coach you through any kind of stickiness, stuckness that you may have. Indecision is keeping you second guessing. And if we're able to remove that kind of indecision and allow you to see how successful this truly can be, we will definitely do it. All these thoughts that we have just discussed, these are costing you so much more in both time and money and memories. All of it are difficult to attain, right? But being able to want new results, and you have to make a new, different decision in order to get new results. So word on the unicorn syndrome is that Juliana is different than my child. My child has severe autism. This works for other kids, but it won't work for mine, right? My child is broken. This one always is heartbreaking for me, because your child is never going to be broken. Whether you do this program or not, it's important for you to note that your child is incredible and will learn so many amazing things. It's just getting the right program there that can better support your child. Thinking that there is nothing out there that would change the trajectory for your child. This is a self-preservation state, right? If I stay here and I never put myself out, then to have these hopes and dreams for your baby not happen, then you can't be hurt, right? If you just stay quiet in your home and never go anywhere, then nothing's going to happen to you. And sure, right? But is that really a way to live? Is that really a way to just have a sit there and sit tight kind of mentality? Or do we find that we see a lot more success when we're willing to dare and promote a sense of learning that we may not necessarily have otherwise? So subconsciously, you may be thinking, I can't risk trying and failing and I won't survive it. The thing is, though, if you ever feel that way, we want to be there for you. Sitting in the I don't knows or these terrible questions with no real answers, right? You get stuck and you don't have that ability to take action. If you can get past this mentality of just not knowing where to go next, you can take action that you can find support your child, right? It takes time. It takes that energy to better understand what needs to be done. But if we can remove that indecision, like I've been saying, we stop losing precious time and we continue to be making that progress. Nothing comes from an I don't know or those kind of bullshit questions, right? That it's just understanding, how do you promote the success in your child and how do you use what is at your disposal? And in this program, you have so many professionals that are here to help you and support you. So just decide you're not ready and won't do the work, or you can decide you're nervous but willing to go for it. Either way, we want you to be that transparent, that direct with us. Let us know how we can better support you. Giving yourself this gift of a decision is going to honor yourself and your child. We want to do everything possible to better support you. We want to make sure that everything is going according to your plan. Like I said, we have that money back guarantee. If there's something that you don't like, that you're not doing well with, right, we will provide you as much support as possible. And if fears and worry are dominating your day, then join us. Join us tonight. Join us and understand what can be taught to you today, and we will help it make sense. Take that leap of faith and understand that by saying yes, we will have you and your baby, your child, your daughter, your son, moving forward in any way that we possibly can. So, like I said earlier, Jen, my amazing partner in this, is posting a link to book a call. And when you click that link, you are again getting 4 months of programming, 4 months of support that when you typically would have gotten 3. It's in the chat box, and take your time to do so. So right now, I'm going to play you. Goodness gracious. So right now, you guys think on it a little bit more, and I'm going to show you a video of some of our other parents that have taken part in this, and you guys think on it, and I will be right back in 5 minutes. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. Give me a second. Oh no. There you go.
So I guess I wanted to start asking you what were your biggest struggles prior to joining the program?
You know, I was going around and looking for organizations. I was looking for help.
So I started looking up online, and I'm like, I really need somebody who's been through.
There's no access to any kind of services over here in Ireland. Just Googling stuff and trying to find something.
I joined because I have a 3-year-old autistic son, so I knew I had to do something that I didn't know what to do.
Everything seemed to be waitlisted or just not available. To break it down to him, I had to have somebody break it down to me.
And that really got me worried. It got my husband worried and thinking, okay, we need to speak to PD.
I think my biggest struggle was understanding their potential.
I actually didn't know, like I was kind of relying on just the speech therapist.
I came in just feeling very helpless, very confused.
What can I do now that I haven't already done? You know, what would be the harm? What can I lose?
Before participating, we weren't making as much progress. It was slow progress.
I believe that I found you on Instagram.
She is very turned off by a lot of doctors and therapists and things.
I went back and forth, and I'm like, she's going to start ABA therapy on this day, and I told them that was my number 1 goal.
As everyone would be, I was a little skeptical because of how many times I have tried with Alexander.
On one end, I'm hearing, okay, she's, artistic, and, you qualify for a lot of services. And when I go and try to inquire about, we can't service her.
All right, so now, I guess, where are you now? You and your child, now that you've joined the program?
They're doing really, really well. Doing really, really well. I think their ABA program here is wonderful. We got very lucky with that.
One word here or there, what it was that he wanted, but not necessarily saying I want it would be April or this or that. And that has totally blossomed. And now following like what the BCBA said, which is starting really small.
Okay, so where I am now is where I kind of know that I'm in charge.
The changes in him in less than 2 months, I think I've been like 6 weeks, are miraculous. The behaviors are decreased. The stimming has decreased. The listening to directions has increased. The language has increased.
I just, set those goals for myself and cross them off and once I did that for me, turn my focus 100% and then I was able to get the work done.
You helped me formulate the confidence in myself to realize I'm ready to really go for it. I would not have gotten through it. It went so much better than I ever could have imagined.
I started listening to the tips from Michelle.
He's doing so much better more eye contact for sure. We're working on talking, on saying some words.
Yeah, it went really well. Like again, the tips you guys gave me.
It doesn't seem like this big impossible thing.
I just been given something so precious.
He's more verbal, right direction, and I'm so happy to be part of this group.
We never in a million years thought that it would happen this early.
He's making a lot more sounds. He's now at that point where he's no longer frustrated, since you and all of the teachers have given me all of the ideas and the strategies.
You know, we all want our children to succeed, and it's just been wonderful.
Would you recommend our program to any moms or dads that are going through this right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I would definitely refer anyone to this.
Yes, definitely. You guys need to do this program. It'll change you guys and your child's life tremendously.
100%. I do recommend it. You learn something new.
I would definitely suggest to go through this program for at least first 4 to 6 months.
This program has allowed that, and I'm really grateful for that.
Take this course, do the one-on-ones, listen and absorb everything that this team has to offer.
You guys have a gift, and you're sharing it, and that's amazing.
So I will recommend you to anybody, whoever is out there.
It's been really great. It's been really great, and
This is going to help you. You can learn through other parents' experiences.
Just do it. Don't hold back. Just go all in, daughter or your son, and I promise you will definitely see results.
See if I can figure this out. It's only the YouTube videos that confuse me, you guys, so I do apologize, but thanks for sticking with me through all of that, right? So that's the thing here, is for me at least, is I love doing this because in that video there were so many familiar faces from parents that I helped that I love seeing them, and I love hearing that they were doing really well, which is fantastic. So this is our Q&A time, which means that you can ask me any and all questions that you would like. So I'm going to get out of the sharing screen mode, so that way I can just continue this and be able to help you guys out. And there are still 43 of you guys. Absolutely fantastic being able to hear each one of you, right? So do not be scared. Like I said, I am here for you. I'd like to just keep you guys to remind you that if you are liking what you hear, please book a complimentary strategy call with the link that Jen is being able to post below, right? But not only that, but being able to book your understanding of these courses are allowing you to get an extra month if you do that as well. So please do so, right? And just again, to go back to my own story of why I'm doing this tonight, is I am diagnosed autistic myself. I was nonverbal throughout my entire life. And I'm sorry, until I was at least 5, but I was nonverbal when I was growing up, and being able to learn slowly that I can't use sounds to communicate, and instead learn how to say words and how to interact appropriately. I could not have done that without my family. I could not have done that without a huge support system. And it is each one of you that are here today that are that support system. And so truly, I'm just so thankful to be with each one of you, and I hope to continue to help you, right? So with that being said, we'll go ahead and do this. Jen, if I need to do anything else to make somebody host so they can ask a question, please let me know. But otherwise, I'm just gonna go down the line of people that have their hands raised, and we can go from there. So with that said, right, I see, I'm gonna mess this up, but Nargis Sultana, what questions do you have?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. So I am a professional actually. I have a student that I am having a little struggle with. He
Okay.
sits on the potty. He pees sometimes in the potty too. But I have him on schedule. The 2 hours that I'm there with him, I keep him on his underwear, and I place him like every half an hour. I usually take him to the potty. Some days he goes, some days he doesn't. Some days I see his body language that he's about to go, and I try to take him to the potty. But then some days that turns into a meltdown because he doesn't want to sit, because I know he's gonna go, and then we end up with an accident. So what can I do to avoid like him having any meltdown? Because I see the body. Sometimes I look for the body language that he needs to go. And
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind me asking you, what kind of professional are you?
I am an ABA therapist, and I'm
You're an
also an
ABA
occupational
okay.
therapist.
No, that's great. I just wanted to see, like, you know, like if you know the terminology and all of that, right? So,
Yes,
regarding
I do know.
perfect. So regarding the toilet, right? It's about motivation. It's about reinforcement, right? So you have to first ask yourself, is the child at toilet readiness? Which means, can he sit appropriately on the toilet without having kinds of behaviors, right? And I'm not talking about like you take him to the potty and he says no, like all done, and then you can move on, right? It's him, like, even if he will let you sit him on there and immediately he just starts tantruming, that would not be toilet readiness, right? Another thing that I'm thinking about in this situation is what motivators or what reinforcers are you using to better promote the ability for him to go potty? And then finally, a third portion of this, right, is having him kind of take ownership of needing to go potty. So I'll give an example. If you have a kid that needs to go and do writing, right, but they don't like it, I may say, hey, you can write from option 1 or option 2. You decide. You don't really care which one they do. You just are happy that they're doing it. Same thing here is, hey, if you're doing, let's say, is it in home or are you in center, Nargis?
So it's in the house. I'm
Okay.
training him in his house.
Perfect. So if there's 2 bathrooms, you can say, hey, do you want to go in this bathroom or this bathroom? If there's only 1 bathroom, that's fine too. You could go in and say, like, hey, you can say, I need potty, or I want potty, or things like that, right? Or you can say, do you want to sit or stand? Or, you know, it just really depends on your child. Point of what I'm making is, though, is try and give him to have some kind of buy-in. So that way he better understands the expectation, but also have him believe that it's his own decision to go to the bathroom. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, you know, he sits nicely, like on schedule. I take him with reinforcer. You know, I play a little bit music on YouTube. He sits comfortable. But sometimes, you know, on schedule, he doesn't go. And then depends on the amount of liquid he drank. So he goes before the scheduled time. But I see the body language that he's about to go. And if we are trying to run to the bathroom, that's when he's not liking it. And then he's going on his underwear. So that's what I don't know how to avoid that, so he doesn't have a meltdown. But I have the right reinforcer and everything. He has been going in the potty, but there's times this happens that he's not going on the scheduled time, but he's going like when he's off the toilet and it's not time for him to go sit on the potty again. And that's when he's like making those body language that he needs to go.
Yeah, so a couple of things can occur also. You can either decrease the time that you're taking him. So let's say it's 30 minutes, you bring it down to 20 minutes. So that way you're just trying to get some kind of success and see if it's not so much that he's just distracted by toys. It's just he can't hold his urine, like his bladder is not trained yet. But also if the timing is not an issue, right? It's then having him say, like, I need potty when he is starting to get fidgety, and taking him afterwards once he says that he needs to go, right? You may be the one making him say it, but at least he is starting to understand that he is the one that needs to provide you with that want that he needs to go to the bathroom. Is that helpful?
Yes. I mean, he is verbal, but he's not initiating to say he needs to go. I'm still modeling the word. I'm using picture, but he's still not initiating. So that's why he's still on schedule. Like every half an hour, I'm taking him.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine, right? But it's a matter of him being able to speak to you and have that spontaneity. But the spontaneity isn't going to happen unless you are able to start promoting, like, hey, you can tell me I need potty, instead of just immediately taking him over to the potty, getting him to say it himself.
Okay. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Armando.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. So thank you so much. Again, if you guys are liking what you're hearing, please book that complimentary call. Jen put it in the chat for you guys. So I'll go to the next one, which is I go Kim 47. So go ahead and let me know what's going on. I don't know if I have to let you speak or not. Maybe I do. No, I don't think so. Disable talking? Yeah, talking permitted. Okay, you're good. I go. If not, we'll keep moving. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hi, I have a son. He is 9 years old. He cannot speak. He headbutts, he bites, he can't, he's not potty trained yet, and I'm trying to do all this. And how about could I do all this?
Yeah, so like with the behaviors?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the first things that we teach our parents is also that everyone everywhere does everything for 4 reasons and 4 reasons only, okay? They want it for attention, escape, they want something, or it feels good to them, okay? So it takes away the idea that he's hitting or biting himself or whatever because he's mad, he's sad, all of that. It lets you understand externally what the expectation is. So my first question then is, do you know why he's getting aggressive? Do you know why he's having self-injurious behavior?
No, I not all the time, no.
Okay, but so when you think about those 4 reasons, think about a scenario that we're thinking about, right? And determine like which of those 4 do you think he's doing it for? If you had to just take a guess at one.
What do you think, hon? Mad about something, or
so let's take away the mad, right? And use one of the 4 answers I gave you. Attention, escape, he wants something, or it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those 4 would you pick?
What would you pick, hon? Escape.
Escape. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere, right? Because now we're starting to learn that he isn't wanting to get attention. He just doesn't want to do the work or the task or do the thing you want him to do. So one of the options then is to have him understand, like, look, what are we working for? And so, like, let's say, I don't know what he likes, but let's say he likes blocks, right? So then after he does the thing that you want him to do, you give him the blocks. And now he learns that if I do the task, I get this item that I really enjoy. It's very similar to if I do work at my job, I get paid. His block is him getting paid.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, that does make sense. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that is a good initial step for you guys. So rather than taking the typical idea of he's mad and that's why he's hitting me, he's sad and that's why he's biting me, right? Take that away. That can be overwhelming. There's 1,000,001 different kinds of emotions that could happen. But if you take those away and break it down to just 4 different reasons, that's way less overwhelming. That's way less intimidating. And you can better understand why he's doing what he's doing.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that helps.
Thank you, hon.
Yeah, thank you.
My husband wants you for a sec. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
Hey.
Hey.
On the headbanging, lots of times it's aggression.
Okay.
And the problem is what's going on is I have to go, instead of using sheetrock, I have to go 1/2-inch plywood just to stop him from putting holes in the wall.
Ah, I see. Okay. So rather than, because that could be very dangerous, right? Because he's using his head to hit the wall, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of sheetrock or plywood, things that can still be dangerous, recommendations could be putting a pillow in front of him to block it. Because what is happening is, although it's not the same as the wall, possibly the sheetrock or the plywood that you were using is giving the same kind of sensation for his self-injury behavior that the wall was, right? But what we're trying to do is prevent it from happening while also keeping him safe. And so giving him a pillow or putting a pillow in front of his face while he does this will have him be like, okay, this isn't the same sensation. I don't want to do this anymore. And he may potentially stop, right? Now he may get aggressive, which is understandable in that situation, right? Because he doesn't like that you're doing that. But it's important for him to understand that this is an alternative until he is able to use his words appropriately. There is a lot of evidence that states in science journals that state that as communication goes up, as communication goes up, behaviors will go down. And once he is able to communicate more, whether that's sign language, speaking, whatever, he then starts to understand it is way more inconvenient for me to hit my head than it is to actually say what my wants and needs are.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem is he doesn't do it just on the walls. He'll do it on concrete, tar, pavement, truck windows, car windows.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the same thing, right?
And-
So following them with a pillow in those situations can be ideal. Something that's still fragile that the pillow may not block could be like the glass. And in that situation, making sure that he never has an opportunity to be near windows is ideal. Not to say to put him in a room without windows, but just making sure that if you have to sit him near a window, you're sitting on the side next to the window and he's on the opposite side of you, right?
Yeah.
Or getting him in the middle of the room so there's no chance of him being near a window.
Yeah, well, the problem is the car is not set up for that type of way because of where his. Oh, actually, now he's getting too big for a car seat. We have to switch him to a harness that we have to pay for, but a lot of times is just him with the phone. Like if the phone ain't working or something for him, he'll throw it and then he'll start headbanging. And lots of times we can't stop that because like I'm driving down the road and nobody can get back there quick enough to do it.
It sounds more like the headbanging is sensory, right? And keep in mind, I just met you guys. I'm learning from audio of what you guys are talking about, right? But
yeah.
from the headbanging, it sounds like it's more like it feels good to him to headbang, right? So in that situation, we're no longer trying to replace the headbanging with something else. I'm sorry, we're not trying to remove the headbanging per se. We're trying to replace that same sensation with something different that he can use that is safer for him in this situation, right? So giving him some kind of item that he knows that he can use when he is feeling this way is ideal. And you may not want to start off with him doing it in the car. You may start off where you have more control in the situation, like in your living room or your bedroom, and then moving forward with next steps, which would be teaching him how to do it in the car seat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always going to be about why is the child doing what they're doing. For this instance, you guys, it seemed like it was sensory, but for like aggression, it may have been escape. So it's something to keep in mind as well.
Okay. And how much are the classes?
How much are the classes? So go ahead and book that complimentary strategy call because that's free. And they can go over different plans for you on what would be beneficial.
Okay.
Because they have different things that you can do. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, Jen did put the link back in the chat again. So just keep that in mind. So Alana, we'll go to you next. How can I help you?
Hi. Yeah. So my son, he's only 2. He just kind of got the unofficial diagnosis of autism. We have to wait another 5 weeks for the official diagnosis. And they won't put him in ABA therapy until they have that official diagnosis, until we get that. He's already in speech. He's been in speech for about a month and a half.
Okay.
And I've asked her like what her goals are for him. Obviously, my goal putting him in speech is to get him to talk.
Yeah.
She says her goals is to get him to interact with her more, to like make more eye contact and play with toys how they're supposed to be played with. Like loves to carry around puzzle pieces, not necessarily put them in the puzzle where they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't play with something the way he's supposed to, she takes it away and brings out another toy. Is that like helpful? I don't want to do something that's going to harm him. And this is the first like speech therapist.
Yeah. So this is very interesting. So for number one, I said it a couple of times. I'm diagnosed autistic. With my own thing, I don't focus on eye contact. It's not kind of a thing anymore with my profession, as well as for a lot of professionals. So eye contact doesn't really matter as much, but what matters is the child able to interact at all with the individuals, right? So let's say your video is on right now, or even in person. I will likely, myself personally, will not make eye contact with you. I will look at your nose, I'll look at your mouth, but I typically don't. Just it's very uncomfortable for me and I don't like it. Does it change my ability to perform as a professional? I would say not, because I'm doing this with you guys, right? So something to keep in mind, right, is you understanding what do you feel comfortable with your child changing or being able to do as opposed to not, right? So we now focus on what is called trauma-informed care. And so what that means is if I'm saying, look at me, you need to look at me when you're talking to me, right? That can be very trauma-inducing because I just personally don't like to do that. So I shouldn't feel obligated to do that, right? As long as I'm doing my work, right? Same thing with like, I hand flap still when I get excited. And I don't focus on that with my patients unless they are not focused on me and they're too busy hand flapping when I'm trying to teach them something, right? That would be different. But yeah, it's not really a thing anymore for the eye contact. So that kind of threw me off there. When it comes to the ability to use a toy appropriately, yeah, no, that's a speech thing. That's fine, right? But being able to say the wants and needs, I wouldn't necessarily say she should take away the item, but and give him a new toy, but teaching him how to use the toy, because it's a lot like if I gave you, I don't know, a hand drill and you had no idea how to use it, I'm not going to just take it away from you. I'm going to teach you how to use it, right? So same thing with like a cause and effect toy, right? So like I was playing with this thing. I use this with my kids as a little giraffe pop-up toy. If they don't know how to use it, I'm going to teach them how to use it. I'm not just going to I'm not just going to take it away and be like, well, I guess you'll never learn how to use this. That's not right, you know? So, and just so you're aware of like speech therapy, because you said this is like your first speech therapist too. They may start with more simpler goals, because I start with pretty simple goals of like, hey, can you just do cause and effect? Can you push this down? Right? But that leads to more goals. The idea of, well, again, that just rubs me the wrong way of like, hey, you're not using you're not using the toy right, so I'm just going to give you another toy. That doesn't connect with me. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, like super smart. So like you show him like press a button and the toy does what it's supposed to do. He gets that on the first or second try. She then wants him to like ask with his sign language or something to do more. Then he can press the button. Like she'll take the toy away and be like, you have to ask more to press the button again. Or let's say the puzzle pieces are in a container. He has to tap the container to get more puzzle pieces out instead of just,
And that's fine, right? That part is fine. But then you mentioned if he doesn't do it, she just takes the toy away and gives him another toy.
She'll put it up. She's like, okay, well, we're not doing this. So she's like, let's clean up. And she puts it up and then she'll get another toy.
That's the disconnect for me. Because in my field, right? In my field, if a child doesn't know how to do something, I'm not just gonna take it away. I'm gonna prompt him through different ways of learning how to use this toy and then moving on and just saying, no, he doesn't know how to do this. And that's fine. That's data for me to say the next time, okay, he needed a gesture. He needed me to point to the item for him to know how to use the toy. Next time, I'm going to see if he can do it on his own. Right. But to just give him to try and then when he doesn't do it, take it away. That still doesn't sit right with me.
Okay. That was I didn't do anything because like I said, he loves to carry around puzzle pieces and he does that at home, trying to get him to actually like do the puzzle.
Yeah.
He struggles. He just wants to carry the pieces around.
Yeah.
And
now that's fine in the sense of you wanting him to do the puzzle and not hold a piece. That's fine. Great job. That's naturalistic play, right? If he's going to hold anything, he needs to hold a toy that's more appropriate for his age, not a puzzle piece. That's a matter of, again, just teaching him how to use a puzzle, which he apparently does not know how to do yet.
I mean, he can do it. He just prefers to hold on to them than to put them.
Yeah, I would focus more on a toy that is more typically held, like maybe like an action figure or a dinosaur or a ball, something. I don't know his age, but something like that.
He's 2, and so that's why I thought about doing the potty training. But he's a twin, so and I do compare a lot to his sister. They're my only children, but like she also doesn't talk. They're 2 in a couple months. She doesn't talk at all, but for the most part, so I don't like contribute his autism necessarily to like him being nonverbal because she also doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do anything that was gonna make him worse or hate,
I don't
learning.
think anything's gonna like make it worse or hate. It's just the speech therapy thing. Maybe it's just because they just met you, right? But it seems a little off to me. And the puzzle piece, although it's not really older age appropriate. At 2 years old, any baby holds anything, so it's fine, right? But as he gets older, that's when you can be like, okay, hey, like we can't do this anymore, right? It's not weird when a 2-year-old holds a puzzle piece. It's kind of weird when a 5-year-old holds a puzzle piece.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then, like,
Yeah.
as far as ABA therapy, is that other than ABA therapy, occupational and speech? Is there anything else that he should be in?
It's not so much anything he needs to be in, right? It's not like one thing outweighs the other. It's more of a very collaborative approach, right? So if I work on speech, but if a speech therapist comes to me and says, hey, actually this intervention is better because this is going to let him talk, I'm going to say, yeah, no problem. Definitely, I'll go ahead and work on that. Much more the same if a speech therapist had behavioral issues and I came in and said, hey, this is better, I would expect them to listen to me on that, right? So it's
Right.
really about what you think your child is needing, and then understanding that each professional collaborates and works together to overall see the success of your child.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, it's a pleasure to meet you and speak with you, Alana. You guys, I'm just going to do a little no plug too. If you guys are in need of like that ABA kind of therapy or something, just if something doesn't sit right with you, make sure that they are able to explain why they're doing what they're doing, right? Don't be afraid to tell your ABA therapist, or even us, honestly. I say that to the parents I work with in this program. And if you like what you're hearing, please click the complimentary link, is to ask us, why does this matter? What is the point of this, right? Not in a very, disrespectful way, but more of a curiosity way, a understanding way, so you may do it at home as well. So I hope that helps you guys. All right, so next up we have Karina. How can I help you, Karina? Karina? And if
Can you hear me
yes,
now?
hello. Yes.
Hi, I have a 7-year-old, and I've been trying to potty train him since he's been about 3.5. And he goes to the bathroom in the toilet. He's starting to talk a little bit. He started off in the beginning doing okay and would let me know, and he would make signs. He would let me know I had to go to the restroom. Now he doesn't let me know at all. I just have to take him because he'll go as long as I take him. If I don't take him, he'll pee his pants or poop his pants, and it doesn't bother him at all. He'll sit in it. He doesn't care. But he will go as long as I take him. And
there are times that children with autism will have some regression in their skills, right? And they may,
he's not diagnosed with autism. He's diagnosed with a very rare disability. There's not even a number. There's not even a name for it. It's only a number. And it does indicate signs of autism and global grays and stuff. But they don't diagnose him with autism. So I'm kind of, I guess, in the middle of learning all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it may be a little bit different than what I'm suggesting, right? But behavioral science goes with all types of individuals. So really, before we get into the crux of things, it would be important, without me understanding the true medical diagnosis of what it entails, is just know that everyone does everything for those 4 reasons. So if you're wondering what happened with the potty training, why is it not being successful? Or what is he doing? Why is he causing these behaviors? Think about attention, escape, tangible, and sensory, and use that to better understand why he's doing what he's doing. Yeah, I think that'll be a good spot. And then moving forward, understanding what that diagnosis really entails. If it's not autism, there may be some other things that may be interacting that I personally would not be aware of, just because I don't know that diagnosis.
So then taking this program wouldn't be an ideal program for us then?
I would say no, it's so it's still behavioral, right? It's if you
Right.
want to tell me more about what the diagnosis is, that's fine. I think potty training, no matter what, is able to better support you through this, right? It's just a matter of when you start to work on this and you start working on this program, it's going to be ideal for you to be very transparent and say like, this is what the diagnosis is, this is how we help behaviorally, all of these different things, or this is what we do currently. And then we can go in and say, well, how often are you taking them to the potty? And really seeing, is what we're doing working, or do we need to do more specified support to handle that child?
Yeah, because with his diagnosis, they like it's a very rare diagnosis. I can't think of the number right now. It's only been in the discovered, I guess, in 2013 is when it was discovered. There's less than 1,000 people in the United States that have this diagnosis, and so they don't really. There's not a lot of research on it. There's not a lot of ways. I've joined a Facebook club with other parents that have their kids have the same thing, but there's really nobody really saying like what they're doing to have their child, be more independent. So I'm kind of like on my own trying to figure out how to do it. But I know that it does say that he has seizures, part of his seizures, global delays. There's signs of autistic. There's like all kinds of different things. But and again, he started telling me he had to go potty, and he would show signs. But now he's just like he's not saying anything. He'll go when I take him. He has no problem. But I think it's depending on me more. I'm trying to start giving him a candy when he goes. He doesn't eat very much candy. So if he goes pee, then I'll give him some candy and praise him to try to get him to go. So I don't.
No, absolutely. I'd be interested on what the seizures are doing cognitively to him. And that may be a factor in it, right? So a part of being a part of ABA therapy is also our ethical guidelines are very important. And so understanding what a doctor recommends or what a doctor is saying about the seizures or other things would be significant for us to then further assist you. Does that make sense?
Well, they've done seizures test. They did EEGs on him, and they come up. One of them kid, the first one he did, he came out abnormal. This last one he just had, it came out normal. They really don't know even how to control the seizures. They're giving him seizure medicine, but they're not sure if that's even going to work eventually, because on some kids it doesn't work. He doesn't get seizures very often. He used to get a lot of seizures, and they thought it was from fevers. But this recently that he got seizures was back in, he hadn't had seizures in 2 years, and then he got one in November, got a few in November, and now he hasn't had any seizures since November. So I don't know if that's affecting the brain or not, but when he had the seizure in November, they did an EEG on it. And they didn't find any. They said it was normal. His brain movement was normal. So
yeah, I'll tell you what. Go ahead and book a complimentary call with Michelle, and because it's free, and we can see if we can help you.
I'm already a member, so I don't know. Should I email her or what?
I would speak with Michelle about that, and I think that would be very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah, let me know if I can help further after that. Julie, what is your question? Oh, allow to talk. Sorry, Julie. There you go. You just have to unmute yourself. There you go. Yep.
Hi. Sorry, I posted it in the chat. So our 5-year-old is partly potty trained. He pees in the potty successfully most of the time. I mean, he certainly has accidents here and there.
Yeah.
And we want to obviously get him to poop. Is there are there tips that you can give me? Should we start that as he's needing to sit to pee? Unfortunately, he's starting to stand to pee now, which is great. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, which I don't know. I mean, I think it's good because then it'll differentiate, but I don't want to like discourage him from the successful paint. Do you know what I mean? Like, because he's going to get frustrated with
Yeah,
me
I
like
think
trying to
as
make
long
him
as
sit when he's like, I'm done, you know?
yeah,
So, yeah.
I think as long as he is getting praised on how you want him to sit, I think that's going to work. But for the bowel movements, right? A couple of things you can do is, you know, make sure you praise the effort at least for him to know that it's a good thing of what he's doing to successfully poop. But we're also, I mean, you could do, I actually saw a person do this to work with wiping as well, because that may be a concern to him, is getting a balloon and putting brown paint on it and having him wipe it off on the balloon to have him learn how to, yeah, I thought it was very creative, to teach him how to learn how to wipe as well. Because that may be something he's concerned with also, is how it feels afterwards. So that's something for you to consider too.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely sensory orientated. He's nonverbal. So, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's even that. It's more, in fact, I feel like we're going, you know, negative on the GI side because he's
Yeah.
might be holding it and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, we need to like get into this now.
Absolutely.
Um,
And
okay.
we cover the toilet training in the program. So by all means, feel free to use the link and set up a complimentary call.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. What other questions do y'all have? I think actually someone said about my own experiences. All right, so my own experiences, which therapy did I take? I actually only took speech therapy in school because we couldn't afford ABA at the time. Marie Didico was asking that. How long did it take for you to get to mainstream? I was in mainstream by 4th grade, but I was in life skills, and then I was in resource, and then I was tested out, and then sure enough, I was gifted and talented. So that was a really interesting time. And then how did I manage the feeling when you realized you're unique? Is honestly, I was really ashamed of this. I was not for this whatsoever, because in the 90s, early 2000s, you just wanted to fit in. And then I got into college and started helping out more kids and realized that I could really make a difference. And so now at this point, I'm trying to do as much as I can to better support the population I serve. So it's been a real joy, and it's been interesting the amount of people that have been happy for me that I have promoted my autism and supported many families as I have. So yeah, no, those are good questions. Anyone else have a question? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I would say the same thing as Julie, right? Is to understand like the need behind it. Is it a sensory issue? Is it an attention issue, escape, or tangible? And use that to your benefit to understand how to accept. So I guess we're getting near the end. If you guys don't have any questions, Jen is going to post that link for you guys, that complimentary link to go ahead and get an extra month of therapy. Excuse me. I'm therapy on the brain. An extra month of the program to better support you guys. So with that, truly, I say thank you for your time, and thank you for being with me tonight. And I hope to see you guys soon in the meetings. Okay.
We're gonna do Wheel of Names.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna do the Wheel of Names before we end the webinar.
Oh yes, sorry about that. I didn't have a link. So you go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, share my screen.
All right, we are spinning a wheel to win a prize. So you got to be here to win it. Ha! That's hilarious. And she just posted a message. Congratulations, Latanya. What does she win, Jen?
She will win a 20-minute coaching call with any of the BCBAs or Michelle.
Very exciting. So yeah, absolutely. So Latanya, go ahead and message Michelle. Let him know what. Yeah, let her know what BCBA you like to speak with. I'm a little biased, but I hope it's me. But in any case, you'll be able to get your information and be able to have a one-on-one call with a BCBA. So there you go. Thanks, you guys, for stopping by, and have a good night.